What's up, y'all? It's your girl Shay Renee, and we are back to talk about Toya and Regina, season 1, episode 3, Family on the Edge. And y'all, can I tell you something? I am so ready for BD to be done with Mel. I'm over it. Let's just get into it, shall we?
Can't ball in a life, man. Go on with it, go on with it. Do us. So we are coming with a force. Yeah. Blessings we are reap and we coursing on.
So, y'all, the episode starts off where they still in the middle of all that drama when Mel and Regina was going back and forth with each other. Regina done told Mel she don't like her. And Toya said, if you touch my baby, I'm going to beat you. It's just too much. It's too much, okay? Mel, first of all, BD, why? Why did you ever think it was a good idea to invite homegirl to this event? See, the thing is, BD is a Pisces, and Pisces they either are very subdued or they very like rah rah. They gonna get in your okay. BD is the subdued Pisces. Okay, BD is in this moment using her family to fight her battles with Mel. I think that BD, and I said this in my last review, BD feels like if the family sticks up for her, and maybe if Mel hears her family saying how much she loves her, how much BD loves her, and how much, Mel means to BD, and how much she really wants to be with her, maybe Mel will realize, oh, BD isn't really playing about me. She really loves me. Maybe we should be together. No. BD Mel don't want to be in a relationship with a woman full time. She just doesn't. I think that BD is so enamored by Mel that she really wants to be in a relationship with just her. But Mel likes the guy. She likes men. She's attracted to women, but she wants to be with a man. And BD just ain't getting it. Mel been throwing it out there ever so slightly because Mel liked to play games too. I think that Mel really was starstruck. She used BD to get amongst Toya and the gang, and they don't like her, so it ain't work for Mel. Okay, pretty much. So, Toya's mom is outside. She's upset because she's telling Mel, you ruined my birthday. And Mel talking about she gonna whoop up on Regina. And the mama is like, I know you lying. You ain't gonna do nothing to my granddaughter. And she basically looking at Beatty like, you better get homegirl on up out of here because this ain't the place for her. So then we see Danielle outside talking to Mel and Beatty all together. And Danielle is pretty much saying everything that I just said to Mel. She's like, listen, Mel, BD loves you. BD is in love with you. But you talking about you got love for BD. That ain't how it is for BD. Like, she really wants to be with you. And Mel was like, I told BD in the beginning. She's like, we had an agreement. And if she want to go outside of that, that's on her. That's basically what Mel was saying. Mel was like, I love men. I'm attracted to women, but I love being with a man. So basically, BD, you ain't no plastictivity gonna keep this woman here. She wants meat on her stick, okay? Period. And not the rubbery kind, if you catch my drift. So BD, just move on, sis. It ain't gonna do what you wanted it to do. You got all crazy in love with homegirl, but homegirl is not. There's no reciprocity there. So let it go. So then we see where BD realizes, well, I guess Mel definitely doesn't feel the same way I do. We see Mel going off on her way. I guess she done called her man, or she called the Uber, but she called or Tyrone, but she definitely wasn't leaving with BD. So BD goes back into the party. So back at the ranch, they're all inside the party, trying to resolve the rest of the night. We see Toya kind of smiling with Red, which Toya is her and Red, they are just such an attractive couple. I am so happy. Lord, please don't let nothing happen with their relationship. I really love them together. I think he's the calm to Toya's sometime type 3 storm. Like, I feel like like they really do fit. Like I can sense it, I can feel it. And Toya is just so cute. She's so tiny. She just perfectly put together. I don't know. She gives off good vibes and good energy. So I just feel like both of them are good energy together. I just wanted to say that. But anyway, they're inside the party. Casey finally gets to perform, and Toya is like, "Listen, if this ain't me supporting you, I don't want to hear nothing else. I got you on here on national TV, basically doing this rap that you're doing. Do this song and going on." So they try to salvage the rest of the night, having a good time with the mom for her birthday. So in the next scene, we see Danielle, Toya, and Bianca going out for drinks because Toya is obviously very stressed out over all the stuff that's going on with her family. Like it's like I said to y'all before, it has to be very challenging coming from very meager beginnings or humble beginnings like Toya had, where her parents, I don't think either of her parents were really like consistently there for her. I think she grew up with her grandmother, if I'm not mistaken, and she wasn't really 100% around all of her brothers and her sister Beatty. And so, that puts a strain on a lot of their relationships and how they connect to one another. So she's now trying to keep everybody together, but then everybody got their quirks and kinks and foolishness with them. So it's challenging because then they all look at her like, you the breadwinner, you on and you got money. So, you know, you need to help us out. You need to be there for us. And it's like, it's crazy because it's like, I gotta be there for you. I got to take your shit. It's too much. It's too much. How much can one person take? You got Casey over here texting her ridiculous stuff, always being emotionally abusive, right? Then you got the mom that is kind of like playing on Casey's emotions. Then you have whatever is going on between her and her relationship with Beatty. Unfortunately, she has two brothers that were unalived in 2016. Apparently, it's a lot. It's a lot. Then you're trying to maintain your relationship with your husband and your two daughters, and people just not appreciating you the way that you feel like you should. And it's a lot of heavy weight on her. So she's going out for drinks with her two friends, and they're discussing the night before. And Danielle basically reveals to Toya what her conversation was with Mel and Beatty. And she's like, listen, Beatty needs to learn. Danielle says Beatty need to learn how to express herself. That's all it is to it. She can't keep on using the family as her voice box. Basically, Beatty sat there and didn't do anything, and she's letting everybody else tell this girl how she feels. And then it turns into a whole shit show like it did. And Toya's like, you know what? Honestly, I don't really care about none of that stuff that's going on with Mel. At the end of the day, I just really want to repair my relationship with my sister. And then Toya begins to break down, talking about all the other dynamics of her relationships with her family and just how, it's really, really weighing on her. So Danielle tells her, you got to be more mindful of your immediate family relationship. You have a 5-year-old daughter that's watching you, and you got to be your best self for her. And Toya talks about crying in the car when she picks up Rain sometimes because she's so stressed out. I really, really feel bad for Toya because, you know what, on the outside looking in, people look at people like Toya and be like, oh, you got money, everything's okay, you should be good or whatever. Money doesn't make you happy all the time, especially when you got a whole bunch of vultures in the form of your family around you, always taking and taking and taking. And she was like, nobody calls her to check on her to see how she's doing. They're not, wondering how life is going for her. Just all about basically, gimme, can you spare? And that's challenging. It really, really is. And my heart goes out to her. And I hope that she can find some emotional balance. And at this point, financial balance with her family as well. Because just because you got it doesn't mean that you always have to give. And people aren't really necessarily doing anything to earn it besides sharing your bloodline. And that's it. People are very entitled to something that they ain't got no claim over or ain't doing no work to get. And yes, Toya was married to Lil Wayne and he was successful. They ended up having a baby. But let's not act like this woman is not an entrepreneur. She doesn't have a business mindset of her own because Regina is what, in her 20s. She ain't get no more child support from Lil Wayne. And I'm pretty sure she ain't getting no more alimony. So homegirl got the coins on her own at this point. So her family, I mean, just because she was privileged at one point, that does when does it end? When does it end? But moving on, Regina is out with her friends Jade, Lourdes, and Baha. Okay. And Lourdes and Baha were also in that group, OMG Girls, with her. So they're all hanging out. And Regina talks about how she feels really comfortable around this group of girls. Her friends, she can pretty much be herself around them and she can appreciate that. And she can say what she wants to say around them. She ain't got to worry about her business being out here in the streets. Okay. But girl, I don't know if I trust everybody that much. Okay, but I'm just saying. So they're sitting there talking about the whole situation, talking about relationships. Lolo says something about sexual positions and things, and then they start talking about Beatty and her girlfriend. And Lourdes is like, I don't ever want to be in no situation like that. And then they talk about how confusing the relationship with Beatty and Mel was. That's just that whole situation was just a whole shit show. BD, I saw that from 10 miles away that wasn't gonna work. Okay. So then they begin to talk about Armand and, where is that going with Regina and Armand? So Regina says that he's supposed to be coming back in town and they're supposed to be having a conversation. And she just wants to figure out a way for them to better communicate. I just think that really looking at the situation wide scale, okay, I feel like Armand love bombed Regine in the beginning, okay. I feel like Regine was so enamored by him that she felt like he was one way, but then he turned out to be another way. I think that he is so hell bent on making it in his career on his own that he subconsciously pushes her away because he doesn't want it to ever be out there that, oh, I'm doing what I'm doing because I'm in my girl is Regina Carter. And I think he does it in a way where it's off-putting. He doesn't mean to be as pushy with her, right? Or standoffish, but he is subconsciously just doing negative things where the communication is lacking where it comes to work because he doesn't want it to ever look like he's using her. And I just sense that that's what's going on here. I feel like he really does care about Regine, and I feel like Armand is the type of guy that really is a one woman one woman guy. Okay, I don't think that he really wants to play the field because I feel like he really wants to make it so bad that, like, in his career, that is, he wants to make it so bad in his career that juggling multiple women is going to really steer away his focus on him being successful. And I get that, but you don't have to push your girl away or treat her the way that you're treating her to make it clear that you want to get it your own way. So we'll get into that when we get further into the conversation, when she actually talks to her mom at the end. So in the next scene, we see Beatty and Toya chatting about the situation at the mom's party, okay, with Mel. And Beatty says she apologizes for how things went. And Toya tells Beatty that she needs to learn how to express herself. Because Toya pretty much said to Beatty, girl, you basically sat there and didn't say anything. You let us pretty much take the brunt of it all. We're basically saying everything that you want to be said, but you're not communicating that to her. It doesn't come off as real or effective if you're not the one saying it. You have to tell people how you feel. It can't come from the rest of us. And BD is like, you're right. And I pretty much learned in my relationship with Mel that I have to learn how to speak up for myself in every situation. Like, I have to learn how to express myself. And it's just hard, but I'm just trying to find my way or whatever. So Toya says, you know what? I really don't care about any of the stuff that's going on with Mel. I'm glad that y'all, figured out what you got to figure out. But at the end of the day, I'm really more focused on you and I's relationship because she says, they never have really been close. And she's trying to figure out why. Like, where are they dropping the ball and what can she do to improve their relationship? So, they go on and talk about it, and Beatty says that she's open to learning how to better communicate with Toya because she wants to move on as well. So in the next scene, Toya's niece Shay lives. We find that Shay actually lives with Toya, and she's been living with her since 2016. And Shay is actually getting ready to graduate from high school, and she's going on to college. Now, I was a little confused as to why Shay ain't with her mama, because apparently her father, unfortunately, is one of the brothers that has been unalived in 2016. One of Toya's two brothers was her father, and he's no longer with us. And the mother, I guess, really wasn't in Joshé's life. So one of her brother's wish was that Toya would basically be there to take care of his daughter, so he would know that she was good. So Joshe seems very shy. Like, I feel like she's not used to the cameras. Um, Very, very like humbling energy I feel from her. I feel like she loves her aunt, but she gives me the energy of, I'm gonna stay out of the way. I don't want to be in the way too much because my aunt is doing a lot for me. She's raising me, so I'm just going to be a good girl, don't cause no problems, because Lord knows where I would be if she's not taking care of me. So I ain't trying to ruffle no feathers. Okay. That's the kind of energy that Joshe gives off to me. So she has a good relationship with Rain. Rain even comes out at some point talking about, you ain't say my name when you talked about the list of people that you wanted to invite to your graduation. And we learned that Joshe ain't even go to her prom. I'm like, that kind of puzzled me a little bit, because Joshe rattled off the list of people that she wanted to come to her graduation. Of course, her mom was on the list, and apparently Toya doesn't get too involved in what the relationship looks like with Joshe's mother, because she didn't really want to talk about that on camera. Obviously, Joshe talks to her mom and has some type of relationship with her, but the mother is not totally active in her life. Um, which is, I don't get it. I don't get that part. But I guess that's something they kind of want to keep private off the camera. But I didn't understand why Toya didn't know that the girl had a prom coming up. Like, how often are you talking to this young lady? It's like, are you just leaving her off to her own devices to raise herself? It's no way that you wouldn't have known about Reginae's prom and when it was. Joshe decided to skip the prom and Toya ain't even know. So it was so cute. Lil Rain comes out there and she's like, yeah, Joshe didn't go to her prom and she dumped her boyfriend a week ago. I'm like, this little girl just in the corner listening to everybody conversation. She know the reason for world peace too. Like, go on, just ask Rainbow. Just ask Rain. She got all the answers. So moving on. Regina goes looking for warehouse spaces with Zonique. And if y'all don't know who Zonique is T.I. and Tiny, T.I.'s stepdaughter and Tiny's biological daughter. And they talk about, her finding a space for her I Fit In clothing line. So she's trying to, I don't know, maybe Regina said that her business has been growing. Maybe she needs more space than what she has in her townhouse to ship the orders out. I don't know if Regina is shipping the orders herself or what, or if she's just kind of like using some e-commerce center. Who knows what's going on with it, but she's looking for a warehouse space so that she can store all of her products and ship them out. So maybe she is doing it herself. I don't know. But she did say that she has a team when she was talking to Beatty later on in the episode. But anyway, she's talking to Zonique, and then they get to talking about Zonique's daughter and how Regina is the godmother of Zonique's daughter and how she needs to be. Regina feels like she wants to be around her more. She's like, you don't never bring her over, and you don't drop her off. And Zonique is like, you can come get her, but sometimes I don't feel like you serious. I don't feel like you really serious about watching her. And Regina was like, no, I love children. I just don't want to have none of my own right now. That ain't a part of the plan. She's like, I'm doing this movie. I got my clothing line and stuff, and I'm not married. I'm not really trying to be adding that to my plate. So then they get to talking about Armand, and Zonique is like, so what's going on with him? And Regina says, I just feel like when he's busy working, and I'm not trying to be a bugaboo. Like, I'm not constantly hitting him up every 5 minutes or whatever the case may be, but the communication just isn't there. Like he will call and stuff like that and let me know what's going on. But when he gets in work mode, he just don't respond to me. And I don't like that. So she talks about how they supposed to meet up when he comes back to Atlanta because apparently he's in LA right now and they're supposed to have a conversation about their communication issues. And she says she just feels like he ignores her a lot and she wants more support from him. She wants to feel like he's there for her as much as she's there for him. So in the next scene, Beatty and Regina meet up for lunch, and Regina starts off the conversation by apologizing to Beatty about all the stuff that happened with Mel. She's like, "Listen, I just want to apologize to you. I didn't mean to come off at Mel like that. She did piss me off, and I don't like her. But that's your person and all that. I should have let you deal with that, and I shouldn't have came off like that. And I apologize for my part in it." And Beatty, I think that Regina is a very good communicator because that conversation with Beatty could have went totally left. It really could have because Beatty came to the meeting kind of with a guard up a little bit because even though Mel was totally out of whack with that whole situation, and I think Beatty had different expectations of how that event was going to go with her family. I think that it helps her to put her guard down when they come to her with the "listen, I was wrong. I shouldn't have did this. I was really trying to be there for you." You know, I can appreciate that because she could have came, Regina easily could have came to this conversation like, "Your girl is disrespectful and you let her do this and that, and that could have went left. So I feel like now Beatty is learning how to navigate communicating better with her family, and they're allowing her that roadway to success. So as the conversation goes on, Beatty says that she sat down and realized she was going above and beyond for a person that didn't feel the same way about her that she felt for them. So she decided that that ain't the situation for her, and even though she's hurt, she's ready to move on. So they talk about not letting outsiders come in and ruin their family more than the issues that they already have. Because Regina says we already got Casey acting crazy. We got to navigate around that. You and my mom ain't really getting along like that for real. We trying to figure out how we can get y'all together. We don't need no outsiders coming in our family and making it worse than it already is. We got enough going on. Okay. So then they get to talking about Beatty says, "You know what? I feel like, we both are going through some things or whatever. Maybe Tom, what do you think about Tom girl?" And Regina was not really into, she ain't into reviving Tom girl. She again apologizes to Beatty because she said, "You know what, Beatty? I gotta apologize to you again. I was young. I pretty much just gave you the money, just do whatever. I wasn't really checking in on the business. I just showed up for a photo shoot or two and did that. But I really wasn't putting the work in that I needed to put in to make the clothing line successful. Now that I'm heavily involved and I fit in, and this is my baby, like this is my business, I realized how much work you had to have been doing to put into that. And I apologize that I wasn't more there for you." So Beatty was like, "I really think that it would be a really great clothing line. This clothing line is basically, um, it's like tomboy wear. Like you can dress it up or you can wear some tennis shoes with it, like the outfits. Like it's a woman's clothing line, but it's basically you can dress it up or dress it down kind of feel." I was looking at some of the pieces, and I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't with it. I wasn't with it. It seemed, and I get it. That was probably years ago that they did that, so a lot of the stuff is dated. But I would need to see some like new designs or something, like something that is I don't know. I would need them to get with a designer that's going to create something that really, because I see the concept, right? But I wasn't really feeling it. I wasn't really feeling it. And Tom Girl, I get the name, but it's not grabbing me, right? So, in that moment, I could sense that Regina really wasn't into it. She was just like, "You know what? I got my own stuff going on. I got this movie. I fit in. I'm not even gonna lie to you and act like I'm about to be like full-fledged doing this again." But Beatty says, "Well, we still got inventory from Tom Girl." And so Regina says, "Okay, yeah, well, I'm all in to help you get rid of the current inventory that we have. But I ain't really about to be all, I'm not even gonna lie to you and tell you that I'm about to be full-fledged doing this business with you. But cheers to new beginnings and trying to figure out a way to move forward. Okay. So moving on, Red, Toya, Josh, Shay, and Rain go to the trampoline park to hang out with Josh Shay because one, she's getting ready to go off to college, and two, Red and Toya had a conversation right before the scene where they gotta break the bad news to Josh Shay that her mom isn't coming to her graduation. And I'm just like, what is wrong with her mother? Why are you not showing up for this girl? It's just crazy to me. Like I can't understand how some a living being could live inside your body for 9 to 10 months and you just don't care about them. I think about my son literally every minute on every hour, faithfully. I'm wondering what he's doing. How is he feeling at school? Is everybody being nice to him? Did he eat lunch? Did he eat dinner? Is he hungry? What is he thinking about? Is he happy, sad? What can we do to have some fun together over the weekend? What about when we have mommy and son time? Maybe he wants some ice cream. Just right now, all these things going through my head, thinking about my child and how I can make his life easier. Even more so lately, I've been thinking about how can I take better care of myself so that I can be here for him. You know, as a mother, you think about these things where it comes to your children. So I am at a loss when I see women that really don't care. Like, I don't understand that. I just never understood it. So they go to the trampoline park. They're having a good old time. Toya actually talks about how Red is such a great dad. She appreciates him being there for Rain and for Josh, even because she said, you know, Toya explains how her dad wasn't really in her life very much and how Wayne wasn't really able to be around for Regina all the time because of his career and who he is. And you know, it was just really nice to have Red around somebody that can create that experience for Josh and for Rain. So, a good fatherly experience, having somebody in the home growing up, being there, hands on, and raising both of the girls. So, Toya breaks the news to Joshe. Joshe really looked so disappointed. Like my heart went out to her, and I could tell that she didn't want to get emotional on camera. Like I said, Joshe strikes me as a person that's not very comfortable being on camera. Like being on TV is probably something new for her right now because I think it's been some years since Toya had a show before, and I think Joshe was very young when they first had their other show, so she's trying to get used to the camera. She's trying to navigate her emotions. She graduating from high school. She thinking about now I got to be an adult and probably be out here on my own. What is my aunt going to do to support me now? Like what? I think it's so much going through that young lady's head at this point that she just trying to get it all figured out. And it's just a lot coming at her at one time. So I really pray that Toya continues to wrap her arms around Joshe and be there for her because I would hate for somebody that seems to be so secluded and introverted for it to come out in the wrong way down the line, where she's not really properly taking care of her mental health the way that she should. So, yeah, I really just pray that Toya continues to support her. And I just feel bad that her mom is just not being there for her the way that she wants her to show up for her. But I pray that she also can find the support in Toya and see that her family is there for her and they continue to do that. So in the last scene, Toya and Regina are at Toya's house and they're chatting about Toya is in the room. She has this line of hair bows called Rainbow. And I think she does boxes every month, like subscription boxes for little girls, because she always will put bows in Rain's head. So hair, when she's doing her hair. So they call it Rainbow. That's the product line. So Regina comes in and is like, well, you ain't got no room for my stuff in here. That's why I'm looking for a warehouse. I'm like, well, Regina, where's your stuff now, girl? Do you have any products at your house? I'm just saying. Because if you in a townhouse, you can use your basement. Or like, I'm pretty sure you can use a bedroom or something for your. I mean, I don't know how. Listen, maybe the business is so successful that it done grown out the house, because clothing does take quite a bit of space. So listen, girl, more power to you. So they talk about both of them trying to find a warehouse space so they can house all of their stuff in the space and ship it out. So then they began to have a conversation about Armand. So Regina says that her and Armand actually had a chance to talk face to face, and they realized that they need to stop talking about things. They need to communicate better, and they need to stop talking about stuff on social media. No, Regina, you need to stop putting stuff on social media, because he already said that that's something that he doesn't like. But then again, he do the same thing. He putting stuff on the damn internet right along with you. So both of y'all asses need to grow up. I'm just saying. Okay. So moving on, she says that they're going to try to figure out a way to find some balance in their relationship, because again, she discusses how when he's at work, like in the beginning, they had like continued communication. They were around each other a lot, basically love bombing her in the beginning. But then when he gets in work mode, he want to disappear. She's asking him about certain things with projects and what he's doing for work, and he gets very like standoffish with her. And like I said, I feel like he's just like that because he don't want nobody to be able to say that Regina helped him, or Regina put him on, or this is why he's so successful because he was with Regina Carter. That's, listen, you can be present in your relationship and get it on your own without being a dick, Armand. If you love Regina, you're gonna have to grow up a little bit. Now, for you to be as mature as you think that you are, you're actually being very immature by pushing her away like that. Cause it don't make no sense. And also, Regina, you need to not be so clingy. You talk about how busy you are. Find some business. If you over here boxing it in and I fitting it in, you ain't got time to be all in Armand's business when he trying to work. If the man say he in the studio and he working, girl, let him call you, because it's okay. It's gonna feel real different when you do a him on him. Okay. That's what you need to learn to do. And I think that Regina also has a sense of entitlement. She said that she don't have any entitlement. She doesn't feel like, oh, because I'm Regina Carter, you got to give me all this attention. I think you do sometimes. I think you do. And that's understandable, because most all women, anybody should think highly of themselves. It doesn't matter if you have a celebrity parent or not. You should think highly of yourself, but you also have to look at who your partner is and analyze what they need and set the expectations of what you need and find a way to meet in the middle. I believe that Regina was calling that boy too much. I think she's being a bit of a bugaboo, and I think it's bothering him. And I think that she's realizing it, and it's hard to dial back. She's been burned in relationships in the past, and where people are either using her, or they're not being there for her properly. They were cheating on her or whatever. This is just, in my opinion, this is all alleged, but this is what I'm thinking is going on. And she's bringing all that extra baggage from previous relationships into this relationship, and having all these expectations but not communicating them properly to him. She seems to be the best communicator on this show, but you're not doing it. It's one of those things. Let me tell y'all what it is. Women do this thing where we don't want to be annoying, but then we don't want to say what we're thinking or feeling, because we think that, okay, you should know by now. And that don't work. You got to say it with your chest and mean it. And if y'all can't get on the same page, it ain't for you. And that's exactly what Toya told her. She's like, listen, if he can't love you like you need to be loved. It's time to chuck up the deuces, okay? Because you are a good person. You is smart, you is kind, and you is amazing, okay? You deserve somebody that's gonna love on you just as much as you love on them. And I agree. But don't keep giving all this love to people. That's a problem. We got to stop giving extra love to people that either don't want it or don't deserve it. And let's face it, there's a lot of mofos out here that don't deserve no extra loving, okay? And that's just that on that. So they're supposed to be go and on a fun outing to do ATV. She's excited to do something fun with him, and she's hoping that the vibes are still there. She's just going to analyze the situation when they get together and see where it goes. Girl, don't think too highly of the situation because I don't know. I don't know. I think that this was a love bombing situation gone wrong. I do truly think that Armand is a good dude, but I think that Regina probably has rubbed him the wrong way and he's a bit annoyed by her. And I don't know if he's going to be able to turn the hands of time back where it comes to that because he probably feels like she's always going to be trying to control him because of who she is. And he's so busy out here trying to get it and do what he need to do to make himself successful outside of her obvious celebrity status. And I don't want it to be a thing where he resents her. And I think that's what he doesn't want to do either. I think he loves Regina and he feels like she could be a good fit for him, but he don't want to end up resenting her. And I don't know. I don't know how this combination is going to go with them. It's really the only way it's going to work is if they communicate better and they both grow up quite a bit. All right. But y'all, this was a good episode. I'm loving Toya and Regina. I think that this is a very good show. Like I said, I just like Toya, and this I'm glad that we get to see a dialed in view of her family and whatnot. And I think that this show is really, really good. I hope they didn't already picked it up for a season 2. But thank y'all for watching. Please, please, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share this video with anybody else that's watching this show too. And I will see you in the next video. Peace out.